Have you ever had a guy in your life who acted a little different around you? Maybe he's always there for you, makes you laugh and seems to remember every little detail about you, but he never actually says how he feels. What if he's been in love with you this whole time, and you've been completely missing the signs? Men don't always express their emotions the way women do. They can be masters at hiding their feelings, either because they're scared of rejection, afraid of ruining a friendship, or just waiting for the perfect moment. But here's the thing, love always leaves clues. And today I'm going to help you decode those hidden signals, so you never have to wonder again. Stay with me until the end, because some of these signs are so subtle that you might be missing them, even if he's madly in love with you. And number 15, that's the one that will completely change the way you see him. And it's the most powerful clue. Yet let's imagine a situation. You have a guy in your life. Maybe he's your best friend, a co-worker, or even someone you've known since childhood. He's always around, always supportive, and always finds ways to be near you. At first, you don't think much of it, but then you start noticing small things like how his eyes stay and you longer than necessary, or how he reacts when you mention another guy. Could it be that he's secretly in love with you? If you're new to the channel, don't miss out on more insightful content like this. Subscribe now and join the Soulful String family. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's find out the sign. 16 will make you think, how was I missing this sign? How number 1, his eyes give away his deepest emotions. They say that eyes are a direct reflection of the heart, and when a man is secretly in love, his gaze speaks volumes. Have you ever felt like someone was watching you, only to turn around and catch him staring, and the moment your eyes meet, he quickly looks away, pretending to be busy with something else? That's no accident. It's admiration, attraction, and deep emotions all rolled into one. A man who secretly loves you won't just glance at you like everyone else. His eyes will follow you even when you're not looking. He may admire you when you're talking, get lost in your words, or simply enjoy watching you laugh from across the room. And here's the real giveaway. If his pupils dilate when he looks at you, or if his gaze lingers for just a moment longer than normal, it's because he sees something in you that he doesn't see in anyone else. Number 2, his mood instantly shifts when you're around. A man's emotions are often written all over his face, even when he tries to hide them. Have you ever noticed how his entire energy changes the moment you walk into the room? Maybe he straightens his posture, starts fixing his hair, or suddenly becomes more lively if he's confident. He might become more talkative, cracking jokes or trying to keep your attention. But if he's shy, he may go quiet, suddenly nervous and unsure of what to say. It's not just coincidence. Your presence affects him in ways he may not even understand. He wants to impress you to be the best version of himself when you're around. And here's something even more interesting. If he's in a bad mood, but suddenly perks up when you arrive, it's because you bring a sense of happiness and comfort that no one else does. Number 3, he remembers even the smallest things about you. When a man truly cares, he becomes incredibly attentive to the smallest details that make you who you are. It's not just about hearing what you say. It's about truly noticing it and remembering it, because you matter so much to him. Imagine him recalling the coffee you love, the childhood dream you once mentioned, or the book you casually said you were curious about reading, even after weeks or months. These seemingly small things mean a lot because they show he's paying attention to your work world, not out of obligation, but because your happiness matters deeply to him. This level of attentiveness often comes through in unexpected ways, like when he surprises you with your favorite coffee or gifts you something you once talked about. These aren't just random actions. They're his way of expressing his love without saying a word. Each thoughtful gesture is his way of showing that you're important to him in a way words could never capture. Number 4, he becomes your silent protector. Love isn't always about the grand gestures. Sometimes it's the small quiet acts of protection that reveal the depth of someone's feelings. Think about the times he instinctively walks on the side of the sidewalk closest to the street, or when he reaches out to steady you as you stumble. These subtle moments speak louder than any spoken words. It's not about showing off. It's about keeping you safe without you ever asking. Does he offer you his jacket before you even feel the chill of the air? Does he keep a protect eye on you in social settings, ensuring that you're comfortable and at ease without drawing attention to himself? If he does, it's because he doesn't need to declare, "I'll protect you." He just does. That's the beauty of his love. It's rooted in quiet, consistent care. Number 5, his jealousy speaks louder than his own words. Jealousy can be a delicate thing, especially for a man who doesn't wear his emotions on his sleeve. But when a man truly cares for you, his jealousy often shows up in the most unexpected, subtle ways. It's not always loud or obvious. It's quiet, almost like a secret that only you can feel. Think about the time you casually mentioned another guy in conversation and noticed a shift in his demeanor. Maybe he fell silent for a moment, or his face gave away just the slightest hint of discomfort. Even though he tried to stay composed, maybe he laughed it off, but you could sense something had changed in the energy between you two. This isn't something to be alarmed about. In fact, it's a sign of how deeply he feels for you. His jealousy reflects how much he values you. He might not confront you about it, but his body language says it all. It's his way of silently showing that you matter to him, even without uttering a single word. Number 6, he creates reasons to keep you in his life. Not all men are great at expressing their feelings through words, but when a man secretly loves you, he'll make an effort to stay connected, even if it means finding the smallest excuses to reach out. He might not always be the first to text, but somehow he always finds a way to keep the conversation going. Maybe he sends you a funny meme, brings up an inside joke, or randomly asks for your advice on something. He already knows the answer to these little moments. May seem insignificant on the surface, but they're his way of making sure you stay a part of his world. Every message, every casual check-in is more than just small talk. It's his way of saying, "I'm thinking about you," without actually saying it. Even if the conversation itself seems minor, the effort behind it speaks volumes, because for him, any reason to connect with you is a reason worth taking. Number 7, he listens like no one else does when a man truly loves you. He listens not just with his ears, but with his heart. There's a world of difference between someone who simply hears you and someone who genuinely listens to you. Does he lean in when you speak, giving you his full attention? Does he ask thoughtful follow-up questions that show he's not just hearing words, but processing them? And the next time you mention something you talked about weeks ago, does he remember it in detail? A man who values you as more than just a passing interest will make you feel heard in a way no one else can. His active listening isn't just about keeping a conversation going. It's about showing you that your thoughts feelings and opinions are important to him. Number 8. He tries to make you smile in every situation. Love is often most visible when things aren't going perfectly. A man who secretly loves you will put your happiness above his own, even on the darkest days. Think about the moments when he's visibly struggling or in a bad mood. Does he still crack jokes or make an effort to make you laugh, even when you know he's not feeling his best? Maybe he'll send you a random meme or a funny video to brighten your day, just because he knows you'll appreciate it. Or perhaps he'll make a small effort to do something silly to make you smile. Even when life feels heavy for him, he'll find ways to lighten the mood simply because seeing you happy brings him a sense of peace that outweighs his own discomfort. It's not about masking his feelings, but about a man who values your well-being so much that he's willing to make your happiness a priority even when he has every reason to focus on his own. These gestures show an immense amount of emotional maturity. They demonstrate that he can put aside his own struggles to care for yours. It's a selfless act, one that proves the depth of his feelings when he's trying to make you smile during his own tough times. It's not a coincidence. It's a clear sign of love number 9. He treats you differently than other women. If you're wondering whether a man feels something special for you, pay attention to how he interacts with you. Compared to other women, does he treat you with extra care, kindness, or patience? Does he prioritize you over others, offering you his time or attention in ways that you don't see him do for anyone else? This difference is often a strong indicator of deeper feelings. If a man is treating you differently, it's because you hold a special place in his heart. This might be seen in small gestures like making sure you're comfortable before anyone else, or in more profound ways, such as always ensuring you're included in conversations or keeping an eye on you when you're in a group setting. He doesn't do these things because he's trying to impress anyone. He does them because you mean more to him than the others. If you notice these small changes in how he behaves around you, it's a clear signal that his feelings for you run deeper than you might have expected. Number 10. He gets nervous around you even if he's usually confident. Confidence can easily be mistaken for an absence of nerves, but the truth is that love has a way of making even the most composed man feel nervous and a little out of his element. Does he seem to stammer when speaking to you? Maybe his voice trembles slightly, or his eyes dart around nervously when you're close. These signs may seem subtle, but they reveal something important. Even though he's usually confident, something about you makes him feel vulnerable. It's natural for anyone who's falling for someone to want to show their best self. And when he's around you, he wants to impress you. The pressure of wanting to make a good impression can often trigger those moments of self-doubt. Even in the most assured individuals, this nervousness isn't something he can always control, but it's a sign that he deeply cares about how you perceive him. He might act cool and composed, but when it comes to you, his emotions speak louder than his usual confidence number. 11. He finds any excuse to be near you. A man who secretly loves you can't help but want to be close to you. Even if you're in a room full of people, he'll always find a reason to sit next to you, stand near you, or simply be where you are. He doesn't want to be close to you out of obligation. He does it because he enjoys your presence and feels an undeniable connection with you. There might be moments when he leans in just a bit closer when you're speaking, or when he finds a seat next to you. Even if there are other options, it's these small, seemingly innocent gestures that reflect a deep emotional pull towards you. Being near you gives him a sense of peace and comfort. There's no place he'd rather be than by your side if he constantly gravitates towards you, even when there's no clear reason for him to do so. It's because you're where he feels most at home. Number 12. His friends seem to know something you don't. It's often said that a man's friends are the first to know about his true feelings. They're the ones who see how he behaves around you, and they can often tell when he's falling for someone, even before he admits it to himself. If you notice his friends acting differently around you, teasing him or exchanging knowing glances when your name comes up in conversation, it's because they've caught on to something you might not have seen. Maybe they've noticed the way he looks at you when you're not paying attention, or how he talks about you when you're not around. His friends might not always say it directly, but their behavior will often tell you everything you need to know about how he feels. They've observed the subtle signs, and more than like, they've recognized his feelings for you. Long before you did number 13, he tries to impress you. Even in subtle ways, a man who loves you will often try to impress you, but he won't necessarily do it in grand dramatic ways. Instead, he'll impress you in the small quiet moments. Perhaps he starts dressing a little nicer when he knows he'll see you. Maybe he talks about his accomplishments just a bit more often. Not to boast, but in the hopes of catching your eye, or maybe he begins to take an interest in things you care about, just so he can connect with you on a deeper level. These little efforts aren't about ego. They're about showing you that he's trying to be the best version of himself for you, even when the gestures are small. The meaning behind them is clear. He wants to impress you, to show you that he's worthy of your attention and affection. Number 14. He paints a future that always includes you. When a man secretly loves you, he doesn't just talk about the here and now. He naturally envisions a future with you, by his side. You'll notice that when he discusses his dreams, travel plans, or long-term goals, you're always a part of the picture. He might say things like, "We have to try that place someday," or "I can totally see us doing that together." In the future, these subtle hints aren't random. They reveal that he's already mentally placing you in his life moving forward. He's not just living in the moment. He's consciously making room for you in his long-term plans. That's a strong indication that his feelings run deep. Number 15. His face lights up when he sees you. You can tell a lot about someone's feelings by how they react when you walk into the room. If a man secretly loves you, his entire expression will change the moment he sees you. His eyes brighten, his posture shifts, and there's an undeniable warmth in his demeanor, even if he tries to play it cool. The subtle signs give him away: a quick smile, a flicker of excitement in his eyes, or a moment of hesitation before he speaks. These are all clues that seeing you genuinely affects him in ways he might not even realize. Number 16. He mirrors your movements without thinking. When someone has deep feelings for you, they subconsciously mimic your gestures, tone, and posture. This psychological phenomenon, known as mirroring, is a strong indicator of emotional connection. If you cross your arms, he might do the same. If you lean in while talking, he instinctively follows. Even the way he phrases things might start to resemble your style of speaking. He's not doing it on purpose. It's his way of syncing with you on a deeper level. The strongest signs of love aren't always in words. They're in the little things he does without even realizing. Pay close attention to his actions, and you'll see how deeply he truly feels. Now tell me, have you noticed any of these signs in someone around you? Drop a comment below, and let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into love and relationships.